Okay, so we're still having body cord problems, but when we tested it when we were hooked up, we didn't get any changes when we messed with the 2-prong end of the body cord. So again, if you get a white light when you wiggle it at the wire, we have to open it up. But if you had a white light when you just wiggled the 2 connections, then you're just going to go through and stretch the prongs just like you did before, in case you skipped that video. You just insert the screwdriver in between the strip looking things and just wiggle. You can go all the way around, wiggle, and that'll fix that. But usually it's not that easy, so again, we have to open it up. As you can see, this one's going to be more complicated because we have 3 wires to keep track of instead of 2, and I don't have that many colored Sharpies that show up on body cords. One thing to keep in mind, so we're going to start with the first identification of the prongs. So this one, the thin one, this one is the middle one, and it connects to the thin prong in the socket end. The one closest to that is the line that goes to the gator clip and the lame. So this is the one that that's different. And we'll be able to tell that really easily when we have all the wires out. This one, the furthest one, is the fat prong in the 2-prong end. So thin is in. And we will mark accordingly. So we are going to, we're going to just go ahead and take this thing apart, just like we did the other ones. Clearly, we have too many screwdrivers. But we're going to just unscrew the 3 screws till the nuts drop. Hopefully you have 3 screws. If you have 2 screws, you should probably go find more. Okay, so there we go. Now it's all ready to fall apart and make a big mess. So just hold on to it as best you can from the wires, so you can try and keep everything straight. Okay, so clearly this is the body cord wire, and so we know where that one goes. That one goes outside, but the closest in, so we can just take him out of the picture. And so now we have these 2 left. So we're going to use the handy dandy Sharpie, just like before, and we're going to mark the plastic, we're going to mark the prong, and since my body cords are always black, use a silver Sharpie to mark the wire, just so we know which one is which, and we can play with them, but always know which way to put them back together. So, okay, if you were having trouble with your lame registering on target, you want to look at this one. Same thing. You can look at it for a broken wire. As you can see, the copper color is consistent throughout, and there's no big black spot, so it doesn't look like a broken wire. And you can tug on it too. Make sure that the prong is all attached. And if you were to find a break here, then you just want to do the same procedure where you cut it and then fix it that way. Otherwise, if those weren't the case and you were still having trouble with your body cord and lame connection, you can look at the gator clip end, and either there could be a problem right here with a broken wire or the solder connection to the gator clip lifting up. One thing you want to be aware of, if you don't see either of those, but you see that your clip is kind of rusty, you can see that mine has a little bit of rust on here. You can go at it with some sandpaper and try and take that off, especially on the teeth, to try and establish a better connection. You might not have anything wrong with the wires, but if there's rust built up here because you sweat a lot, then you just want to get that out of there, and hopefully that'll fix your problem. Okay, but say you were just having the classic white light problem. we're going to do a similar thing we did with the 2-prong end, and we're just going to take each of these and give it a good tug, see if it moves. Not moving there. And this one, oop, okay, so I pulled and the prong popped right off. That wasn't even staged. Okay, in that instance, I'm going to use that could have been the problem right there, but I'm going to double check it. I'm going to grab onto the end of the wire with my pliers and give it a good strong pull. No amount of force is too much force, but you know, you're not going to break the wire. Okay, so it's not moving. So luckily that was just my problem, it wasn't attached very well. So I'm just gonna twist the wires so they're all in order, and then make sure the set screws out all the way out and I can see straight through, and I'm just gonna stick it through and snug it back down. So that was relatively simple. If I did find a broken wire, I would repair it the same way I did in the previous video with the 2-prong end of the body cord. I'm also going to snug down the other one just for good measure. And I'm going to put it back together. All right, even I lost track. So I see the marks. The marks are on the thin is in. So I'm going to settle that one in. Settle this one in. And the grounding plug, which I know goes outside but closer to the middle. So I'm going to settle that in. This is more challenging to put back together than just the 2-prong end. And then you want to it's kind of a game of close the box without letting anything escape. You just want to situate it like that and hold it as best you can and screw it together one by one. So yep, you start with screws and then you just go around. And then hopefully you're good to go. That was quicker.